I'm gonna.
Anthony Richardson dead, Kirk Cousins dead, Aaron Rodgers dead, Deshaun Watson dead, Daniel Jones dead, and a new arrival, Joe Burrow dead. The bottom four teams in BAMS dead. 4 weeks to go, 10 in the books. Welcome to the BAMS cast. Commish, you find yourself in a Rin sandwich trying to find your way into the playoffs in what has been a rough couple weeks for you, although the squad is still strong. We have Ford who takes on a loss. We have the baloney squeezes who just keep winning games. Let's talk about it, sir. How you doing?
Not dead yet. Beaten down. It's been a long day. We work. We have lives. We also had our first Twitter space, X space, BAM space, whatever you want to call it this morning. Was very, very successful, I would say. Yeah. At least a third of the league was there in some form or fashion. But yeah, like I said, I've been beaten down. I have been going through the gauntlet. I guess you'd say I have lost to Nog. I've lost to the Spurs. I've lost to the Squeezes. And this week I am up against Derek's team. So the past 4 weeks I have been tested and have failed miserably. I know it's been 2 weeks. I don't know if it's been 3 weeks, but where I've had a very realistic chance at winning on Monday Night Football and dial it back to Monday night. I needed 12 points from Diggs. I look back, there was 1 week that he hadn't done this or something along those lines. And I think he put up 6 points, Tim.
Because the Bills offense is caving.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's been rough. I'm hanging on the playoffs by a thread. Like I said, I have Derek's team. I tried to roll the dice and play Keenan Mitchell, who partly because I wanted to, get all the points and thrive in that sense, but that would have also won me waiver of the week last week if he would have had a good day. But alas, 4 points later, look good, but they don't use him. But I want to say, before we get into it, last podcast, I started putting a hat on to commend someone that did the previous week. It was Trey McBride, put the Cardinals hat on. Don't have a lot to go along with the past couple of weeks. It's been tough. So we're forward thinking, and I'm including you in this. So this week I have Nolan Brown. He's out. Wide receiver. I'm pretty sure Dameon Pierce. He's out. Nico Collins has killed it for me. And in an attempt to hope you get CJ Stroud traded, let's go Texans #1. So big week from Nico Collins. And hopefully, for your sake, you get, some draft picks for your CJ Stroud. I'm ready to roll. I am uncharacteristically in a good mood for as bad as my team's been doing, and it's a beautiful thing.
I love it, man. I mean, I think the team's still strong. I really like how much we have people in the mix and that it is still going to come close to a call being made on who can make it into the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, if I had to give you a quick overview, and we'll get into the matchups, but Hotspurs still in the #1 position. They had that one loss. There a couple weaknesses are emerging, but they had a trade we'll talk about of just trying to get some depth. That's the big thing. I feel like we've got trades all over the board. Everybody in the top 6 making win now trades except for the commish, who is sticking with his guys. Gotta love the pride. Nog and Derek's rad team, I feel like we don't give a ton of love to on this BAMS cast. They've just been quietly in the top 4 the entire year. Squeezes, I can't wait to talk about just what that team is doing. And then it's those 3 teams: Diesel Guys, Commissioner, Fiana. There will be an odd man out, and we're going to see over these next 4 weeks how that shakes out. Everybody else, pack it up.
Let's I had something to say there, and I forgot what I was going to say. But let's get into some matchups.
Great.
I'm going to talk about Ford and the hammocks. Okay. Oh, you mentioned trades. My point what I was going to make was let's not get into too much detail because we got new segment. It's the trade deadlines tomorrow. Quiet period. Currently in quiet period. Not really, but next week's gonna be trade deadline recap show.
Yeah.
So we want to steal thunder from them. They are watching us with a close eye. So matchups. Hammocks, Spurs. Spurs does it again. Another weekly win. I want to say that's 4. I don't think I've updated the spreadsheet yet because it has been a week, my friend. Let's see. Ford has 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this was his 4th win. He's up to $200. That is over the buy, and he is in the green, or however you say it. And 151 points. He did it in great fashion. James Dobbs, 25 points. Huge.
That's a nice pickup.
That I didn't pick that for my waiver pickup of the week, but that may have to be it. We'll revisit. DJ
I think it is. And Ford, like, there's part of it of he's been front running all year, just had a great team, and he's kind of racking up the score. Like him picking up Dalton Kincaid, great. Him picking up Dobbs as that fill in with Tua out, and in a week that should have been a down week because he is pretty Dolphin centric on his team. Like, Ford's just making the right moves. This is just his year.
Yeah, it is. It is. DJ Moore has got, I think his stock's up. Low week last week, but it didn't matter because Keenan Allen did what Keenan Allen does. However, he's hurt a little bit, little tweak a little this week. He may not do too well. We'll see. Mari Cooper, fine week, 13 points. Quarterback's hurt. He may not do too well this week. We'll see. Careful. Kamara does what he does. McCaffrey didn't score a touchdown and still put up almost 19 points. My goodness, Kincaid is an automatic 14 points now. Metcalf had a fine day. It's just a very consistently strong team, the Spurs. Ho hum for them. Hammocks, 107 points, not bad. It's what everyone else is doing right now. He's trading off, Mike Evans. Gosh, that'd be a good trade if you can get rid of him. He's got a day. He won't see this before, but he should trade him. He should trade Eckler. He should trade.
I have a question to you, which is this literally getting posted after the deadline has elapsed?
Should we at this point? I think so. Or whatever you want to do. I think the deadline is what, the 18th, right? Which is tomorrow. Saturday. Typically, I put it out early Sunday morning. I'm not going to do it. I mean, I could do it tomorrow morning. How do you want to drive? How do you want to go about this?
I got the Cheshire Cat grin. That's like, I have so much shit to talk. If we want to go that route, or we could just wait. I got takes.
Wait, I don't want to prevent you from takes. If your takes pod comes out Sunday morning.
I don't want to give out takes that spur any action.
Pod's coming out Sunday morning. Let's go takes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then we will save that as a segment after we go through matchups. That we'll call it Timmy's Got Takes, and it'll be a trade, us in the time machine after the trade deadline has elapsed. All right. So what's so funny is I was talking about, like, not a lot of shine for the Nog and Derek's red team, just hanging around towards the top. I pull up their matchup and I just still don't have a lot to say. It's like the Nog, they put up 120, Derek's red team 124. Both these teams are just really, really good. The Nog putting up 120 with AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts on bye. You can't expect to get those wins. TJ Hawkinson is just getting fed by Dobbs. That game, I think he had like 10 catches and like 100 yards and a TD in like the first half. He was going off, and his body, he was falling and getting hit in the most ridiculous ways every single time. I don't know how he was getting up. And then, like, plugs in Geno Smith, gives him 24. Like Nog was doing what he needed to do. Falls 4 points short of Derek's Rad team. Rad team, Adam Thielen beginning to drop off. Things in Carolina getting sad. Frank Reich likely going to be fired. But this comes with this Dak CeeDee Lamb connection. He doesn't have Dak on his team. It's just that he has a CeeDee Lamb on his team, puts up 35. CD is taking off and is looking to be a second half league winner. David Montgomery coming off of injury and immediately stamping his place back on the Detroit backfield. I mean, that's all good stuff. And he did this with Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Swift on the bench with, they had bye. So, I mean, it's a good team. Derek's Rad team, who didn't they win last year? Or am I wrong?
O'Toole did.
O'Toole did.
Okay. TGBs, yeah.
TGBs. But yeah, Derek's Rad team is just doing it again. And I think this is like a well-suited team of definitely a top 4 and one to look out for championship run.
I was looking at fan mail today and going through signing stuff and mail and just kind of getting, that stack down. And I had a question from a fan that asked, David Montgomery for Saquon Barkley, clean swap. Do you do it?
Saquon for Montgomery. The one thing with Montgomery was that, like, he had a great week last week, and it was because he had a 75-yard run for a tutty. So, like, I don't know. Oh, I do feel like that Gibbs train is picking up steam, and it's more 50-50. Saquon and the Giants, that shit is so sad. I would take Montgomery. I'd take Montgomery.
Right? That's what I said.
Because if things stay exactly the same, I feel like they'll score around the same. Maybe Saquon gets a little bit of an edge there, but if anything happens to Gibbs, you can win the league.
It's 50-50 split. 14 carries for Gibbs, 12 for Montgomery last week. Yeah. And that's what it's
going to be. With Saquon, you cannot win the league. You will get 10 points or not. Like, it's just it's going to have no pop.
I agree. I'm going to touch on your matchup here, unless you're got anything more with that.
Am I not in Survivor anymore?
That's why I'm touching on it. It's because I'm updating everything right now, and you are out.
Why? Said what happened?
58 points. Get me out of there. Do we have a true Survivor matchup this week? Who's not playing?
Ooh,
I don't think he's playing. Who I want the answer to be. No, they're not. They're playing two separate. But that's your game of the week, your BAMS game of the week. Bing, 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 bing. Nog Diesel guys for the Survivor crown, $50. It's we're putting money on the field. It's a one roll bet this weekend, $50 on the line.
Am I correct that it is just whoever scores more this week gets it?
That's it.
Done.
That's it.
Nice.
Yeah, and like we said, that the reason it is them is because you fell to the Diesel guys 118 and change to 58 and change. And why? Well, you're selling. You expect as much. We don't have to harp on a lot of it. Zach Moss lost his role. John Smith is a wild card in Atlanta.
Alexander Madison, concussion, and the worst.
Yes. Gabe Davis is 50-50. You never know what you're going to get.
20 points, 0 points. Yep.
Yeah. Other side, Deontay Foreman. I will give these guys a little bit of credit because I was going to give him the waiver of the week, but he may not win it. How's that for another teaser? You don't know who I'm picking. Kenny Walker, 17 points. I'm hearing bad things about him. Isn't he losing? Isn't he like the second back now? Kenneth Walker?
It's weird. I mean, I think Diesel guys know they know it better than anybody else, and I think Diesel guys are oh yeah, all of this is in the time capsule. It's done. So I think Diesel guys is trying to shop Kenny a little bit. Yeah. So we'll see if anything comes out after the fact. But yeah, that was a concern for me is like Kenny could be a viable running back factor this year, but in terms of keeper value, which he was kept this year as a good value, next year it gets murky. I don't know what's going to happen in that Seattle backfield. So
so you're buying an expiring contract.
I believe so.
Still 19 carries to Charbonnet's 6.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's still there. I think
yeah,
I think he remains the top running back for the rest of the season.
yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
Okay, that just threw me off. I've heard a lot of negative press about him versus Charbonnet, and yeah, 18 points, great for Diesel guys. Ridley is really screwing him. That's like a mental hurdle he's got to overcome. Maybe he doesn't, I don't know, but like, oh, he's got Charbonnet on his team too.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's fun. I mean, he had guys on bye. Downs is falling off a little bit. So
Oh yeah, and let's talk about this quickly. But I mean, Diesel guys who are really just trying to stay alive and make it into the playoffs because you got Justin Jefferson and Kyron Williams on IR, both coming back. Justin Jefferson probably a little sooner than Kyron, but it's close. This team's good. This team's really good. And it's really like TR on tilt where he is really close to losing particular matchups week to week. He is losing his damn mind because he knows how good his team is. He knows how stacked it's going to be in the second half of the year. And there's just this part of him where he's getting so many points scored against him and catching tough breaks. The Burrow Chase situation now compromised. There's so much happening for Diesel guys.
Add it to the murkiness of that team. And that's not I mean, it sounds negative, but my goodness, like, yeah, what's going to happen with Chase?
It's just a shuffle.
Is he going to trade for a quarterback? Jefferson, what's he going to be like with that quarterback? Yeah, like you said, Kyron Williams. I'm not confident Kyron Williams is great when he comes back because, I mean, I know he was good, but
Rams are playing for their season this week, and we'll see if they don't win what happens. So they could be shutting down a lot of things. I do think Diesel guys, like I'm trying to listen, I've fielded so many trade talks that I know where everyone's mindset is in the league. Basically, I've been working the phones like Schefter. Like Diesel guys, I feel pretty confident. I feel pretty confident that Diesel guys will find themselves a replacement because they know they have these back half winners on their team. They're not going to close doors. I think they're going to push forward and get themselves a QB.
Yeah. I just had a giant grin on my face, and it's rude not to explain that. I just got in real time the cover photo for the blog this week from Mr. Jaron.
It's just he's the best.
It's fantastic.
Also, this is real time commentary. I'm having so much fun talking about the trades and the matchups. We'll see if we get to dead guys, but I'm logging so many things in my head that we still have to talk about.
Let's get it out of the way because my dead guys.
Fun stuff.
Here, I'm gonna do my dead guys right now. Let's just get it out of the way. We
okay.
got like three matchups. Here's my dead guys. Trevor Lawrence, because that's the only way Gurley's not gonna play him. Jahmyr Gibbs, and the wide receiver is gonna be oh goodness, it's gonna be Deontay Johnson. There's a backing to that. He said, please dead all my guys this week and just put me away after Mark Andrews died last night. So he's done. He's over with. I mean, rightfully so. He was fighting the Puka Nacua I love you booze. Let's just go into that matchup. And then
do it. And I'll pull up some dead guys while you do it.
Yeah. So we'll just go into that matchup because what did he do last week? Yeah, he lost again by 10 points. He won previously, I want to say, and so he was like a game out of the playoffs, and so playing the TGBs, he was rightfully so. He had some confidence. Deebo Samuel was coming back. He had Bijan Robinson on his team, who was getting all this RB1 hype that he just traded for, so he was buying with Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. Roddy White is now an RB 8 on the year, so it's not a bad team. I think that there's a lot to his lack of success this year on what a good quarterback does for your team in this league in fantasy football. I know there's a lot of like thoughts on not drafting anyone high and just kind of like streaming quarterbacks each week, but I mean 4 points out of Trevor Lawrence when you got 24 from Purdy across the way, but you quite the hole. PGB's just a good 106 points for someone from the bottom of the standings. He's got the other Brian Robinson. Last thing I'll say about this, 20 points from San Francisco's defense. Last thing I'll say this, I saw something funny on the internet where it was like, someone who screwed up and picked B Robinson thinking they were Bijan Robinson in the first round
Mm.
and lucking out and getting Brian Robinson, who's like the RB4 on the year.
Yes.
I was like, that is Shay to a T. With who's the guy that
AJ Brown, Diami Brown?
Yeah, Brown. Yeah. So anyway.
Oh.
Tough loss for Growley, hanging on by a thread this week, and he loses to Mark Andrews last night. So I think we know the direction that is going. Either dead guys, or do you want to comment on that matchup?
Nope. Dead guys. We're going QB Sam Howell, your QB4 on the year. But he's taken 1,000 sacks. He has to die. He's getting hit so much. So we're going him at QB.
I need to free up a space on my roster. I don't want anyone to hurt, but I also don't want to just drop him for someone to pick up because QB4. Oh, okay. Okay. I like that. What else you got?
We're going to go Derrick Henry. I hope by this point, the Fiana has found a landing spot for their running back. We'll see. Guy's big, guy's old. Tennessee's sad. That's it. And then wide receiver. I mean, let's go. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, Amon-Ra just jumped out at me. I don't know why. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
You know what? Here we go. Jordan Addison. It's going to be a clean swap. There's always just one good receiver in Minnesota at one time. So with Justin Jefferson back, Jordan Addison dies.
Like early in the game, like weirdly coincidental. Yeah.
Yep. Even swap.
Okay.
What matchup did you just go through?
I just went through Growley's. We did Fords. I think it's just me that's left.
I do have a comment on Grohl. Just a fucking brutal loss.
Yeah.
That is so tough. Like, and now we're going to talk trade talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
He has so many good back half players. Trade one of these guys.
Well,
what's going on?
He just traded for Bijan.
There we go.
And that's, yeah. I mean, that's the dilemma of having a shot at the playoffs, and anything can happen. And I think that's where his head was at, because I think he did sell someone. If we can talk about it, but I think he was a seller and a buyer, because he bought Bijan. That was his new hotness last weekend, and that's like the up and down of it. Like Atlanta's like, okay, we'll make him our RB1, and he was given the opportunity and did fine. 17 points, 18 points, 22 rushing attempts. Yeah, that's what he traded for, and it worked out. But when you have 8 points between 2 wide receivers and a quarterback, he held on to Trevor Lawrence all year.
Yeah, that was the 4 point from Trevor. That's the toughness there. It's like, and you think too, if I'm going up against TGB, I'm going to get myself a dub, get myself into the mix that you and the Rim Boys are in. And I mean, I empathize because I've been there. Last year, I was right on the brink of playoffs. I said, let's get Christian McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. I'm giving away the number 1 pick. Let's go. And I didn't make the playoffs. So I totally get buying a big name running back, trying to give you that extra push to sneak into the playoffs and make noise. I'm more so saying at this point, like, yeah, like I sure hope he's looking to try to sell even more. Tough that Mark Andrews died. That could have been someone that he could have dealt. Jahmyr Gibbs, he could deal. Like Puka, he could deal. Deontay Johnson, he could deal. Debo, he could deal. Like, there are so many good players on this team that maybe it is just that the market is now so saturated that people aren't as willing to give up picks. But I looked at this team probably the same way he did. It's like stacked for back half, like so many good back half players here. I can sneak in the playoffs and I'll have a really good team down the stretch. And I'm just concerned. I'm like, at least he got the Bijan deal done, but there's a lot on the table here.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be too late. But this team, if you look at his bench last week, Devontae Smith and Puka Nacua were both on bye. Like, swap out those 2 wide receivers into this team with Debo, the 2 rookie running backs, Rashad White and Mark Andrews, like that's a stacked team.
Yeah. Yeah.
He, I mean, it may not be too late, but it's got to be tough to like. I mean, it probably is too late, but it may not be too late, and it's got to be tough to still hold on to all those assets.
But we won't linger on it too long.
Yeah.
We will go to the Fiana.
No, we talked about him.
Can't stop. What's up?
No, we talked about him, didn't we? Fiana
Shasky?
Wait, no. Yeah, no, we didn't. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fiana can't stop winning. Trade away Cup and just keep winning games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was a team. I'm trying to remember what their record was, like 2-5 or something. But like, yeah, that would make sense. 2-5, and then they won 3 in a row after trading Cup at 2-5. So 2-5, you trade away Cooper Kupp, your best player, and then you just can't stop winning games. Going into the Shasky matchup, it was a favorable matchup, so it felt like Fiana would get the dub here as well. 111-99 over Shasky. Shasky did put some pressure on, though, having one of his higher scoring weeks on the year. But the Fiana, Tyler Lockett, Garrett Wilson, Tank Dell, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Warren emerging in the Pittsburgh backfield. So it's like, and then a quiet game from Sam Laporta, who we know is actually an absolute stud. Cleveland defense racking up double digits every week. Fiana's good. It's just so interesting to have a team wave the white flag after the first 7 weeks and then all of a sudden completely be in the mix.
I cannot wait for the playoffs because there's going to be upsets, and I'm here for it. I can't wait. I hope I'm part of it. Yeah. It's funny. Jahan Dotson is also kind of a funny situation because horrible start to the season, and then he's helping Fiana come back with a couple big weeks, and then last week he just says no, 0. It's not even a point. Michael Wilson on the bench. Bench is okay, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Fiana does here. And then Shasky is trying to sell. We talked about that earlier. Last, unless you got anything else, last is mine with the bologna squeezes.
Do it.
Just 2 boring performances. I'm staying afloat because of Sam Howell and his 24 points, but Jacoby Myers is droppable. Godwin's droppable. Gosh, Brees Hall, ETN, 14 points between the 2. It was just and then 5 more from Diggs. It was bad. All my big players aside from St. Brown were bad. Thank God I picked up Trey McBride. He's helping me. He's keeping me somewhat afloat, I guess you'd say. But hopefully I'm in the playoffs so he can help me then. But no, that's Herbert coming from the bologna squeezes. I'm pretty sure he put up 30 points in like the second half. You can tell by my tone I'm not happy about any of this.
Especially that I gave the squeezes Herbert and Pittman, and that's 29 and 14.
Yeah, no, I get it. Am I being stubborn by not trading for anyone? Yeah, but if it works out, is it awesome? Yep. So that's my story in there. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Diggs let me down Monday night, and I am fighting for a 6 spot. Anything?
Just fun fact on the squeezes. We have 8 minutes left. Fun fact on the squeezes. He is 7-3. I am 3-7. Our difference in points scored this year, 12. 1.2 points per week is the difference between 7-3 and 3-7. What a game. What a game.
What a game indeed.
But the squeeze is, as we talked about, that's the exact type of team that should be buying. It was similar to the Nog. Like, have a fortunate record based on how the scoring has gone, haven't had a ton of points put up against you. Work with the record. If you got the dubs, work with it. Build your team. You're already in a good spot to make the playoffs. And then actually just now add some more talent to the team to boost those totals. Boom. Squeezes are now a formidable squad. So sorry for the commish loss here.
That's okay. It happens. we grow from it. We learn from it. I got a little Bamalytics segment. We love segsies. Points against. Do you know who jumped into first this last week?
I think I'm always, I'm in first all the time for points against. No,
are you? I thought for some reason,
or maybe I did. I probably took a step back, but I always find my way back to most points against.
It was Diesel, guys, but you are now back in first most points against, and who has the least points scored against them?
Baloney has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's baloney. It's baloney. You got Ford up here pushing 1,400 points on the year.
Yeah, this team is so good.
Baloney has had barely 900 scored against him.
That's Bamalytics.
You kind of got to do what you can with what you got. Matchups were great. Waiver wire. Congratulations to Fiana. For Josh Dobbs. Come on. And
did we cover Ford and hammocks? But 151 for Ford. Great stuff. Your team's good, man.
No, we did. He won the week again, another $50. We're good on segment. Go. What you got?
That's just me. Good for you.
Oh, Ford. No, great. Good job, Ford. Keep picking them up. You had a segment. You wanna rail after the post trade situations?
Yeah. I think number one, I have to address it because you're wearing the hat. CJ Stroud, not going to be on anyone's team. No one wants him.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we've exhausted all resources.
What are you offering?
Fucking anything, guy.
You want to swap like a late round pick?
Yeah, I can't reduce myself to like some stupid ass pick swap that's like a 6th for a 7th or something. It would still need some pick value, but yeah, it's crazy. I had some talks that I'll probably talk about after the trade conversation, but got close on one and had a puzzling finish to that resulted in Stroud not getting dealt. Had some nibbles on Murray, which that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, there was so much stuff going on. I think one thing that I thought was interesting was like Grohl's poking around to buy after he had lost. And I'm like, I want to sell to anybody, obviously, but like, I almost wanted to send a text being like, take a look at the standings, man. Like, I don't know if you want to be buying right now. And Grohl's then independently came to his senses next day, was like, actually, no, I need to pack it up. But those are my two takeaways. Number one, Kyler Murray, 13th round keeper. Anthony Richardson, 12th round keeper. CJ Stroud could win you a championship. 5th round keeper, probably a 6th round value.
Anthony Richardson, you have a wider audience too.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. So all these guys and all of these QBs dying. I was just certain that somebody would want to bite. Ultimately, I've settled on like, hey, if no one wants it, no one wants it. And really, I will have in my hands a chance to make a very informed decision a week before the season starts next year. So that's what we'll do. And I will continue to hold on to these good keepers. And instead of someone keeping them in the 12th or 13th, they can buy them market price at 5th round next year. Have fun with that. So that's the QB point. And then the second point, and I was kind of hitting on it with Grohl's, but I'm like, where are the fucking sellers? Holy shit. Like, I just feel like I'm personally in a spot of I am biased to wanting everyone to sit on their hands, wanting everyone to not trade so that I have the biggest advantage going into next year. But I'm just like, trade your guys if you're in the bottom 4. What is going on? And maybe it is that I reduced some of the appetite of the market because I dealt so early. I don't know, but like, there's just opportunity on the table.
Here's what I'll say. I may offend some people by saying this, but I think we have a unique bottom half of the league right now. I think, first of all, the top 7 should not be selling. That's thrown Fian in there. And if you could easily argue for me of Gurley not selling, because he's also got in the back of his mind that he sold last year and
Yes.
is in this position. So he's like, I get where his head could
literally
be
exactly what I did last year, where I sold going into that year. It was a buy year. Yeah.
So is it worth it? And then let's go. Then we got four more. You got Russell and TGB, who aren't always active on the trade blocks historically. So I understand that. And then you have Shasky, who I think can be not realistic when valuing players in my opinion. I mean, he's made trades and it is what it is, but like I've talked to him about some players this year and I've disagreed. So maybe that's just me, but I think it's a unique set of teams that are in the bottom half. Then you are just having a field day, just spreading them out on to the top of the league.
And yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to gloat, but it's like that is a situation where, and again, I went into a season last year thinking I would be awesome, didn't make the playoffs. Groles went into the season this year thinking it would be awesome. He's less than likely to make the playoffs. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but when I'm in a situation where I'm the one that's getting all these picks and no one else is dealing like that, that is creating an advantage. So we shall see how it plays out, my friend. Yeah, we'll probably text a little bit about little CJ Stroud.
That's fine. That's fine.
Final minutes.
I actually started a stop clock, so we got 40 seconds.
Great.
In a weird situation where I'm kind of like in the middle ground where I have Jacoby Myers and Chris Godwin that are tough to drop, but I also have Khalil Herbert coming off the IR that I need to space. I
just got too many guys.
Like mediocre guys that are like not deserving of a spot, but also tough to drop. So we'll see. 15 seconds. You got anything left to say?
No, this was exhilarating. I love all the trade moves. Way to go, team. We covered the on Twitter Spaces today. Active day. Great day for BAMS.
Oh no, the one thing I wanted to